Hey guys, Gizmodic here, and you all probably thought that I've forgotten about this review. Well, this is the Redmi Note 5 Pro, and the reason that I'm reviewing this phone 4 months later is that I could never buy this phone in a flash sale. Well, honestly, that's not the case. I was actually quite busy, so I thought I would make a long-term review of this phone. But the truth is that I actually never bought this phone in a flash sale. So the first sale of this phone was in February of 2018, and the phone just went out of stock in a couple of seconds. That's still the case 4 months later. So yeah, I had to pay $1,000 extra and I got it from OLX. So please hit the like button for that. Also, if you're watching this on your Redmi Note 5 Pro and you want a tempered glass from it, then you can check out the one from my friends over at Glazed Ink. I have made a video about it earlier and a lot of you guys loved their products. So yeah, if you want a full glue edge-to-edge glass for the Note 5 Pro, go check them out. The link is in the video's description and you can use the promo code GIZMO for a 10% discount. Anyways, coming back to the Redmi Note 5 Pro, this is by far one of the best phones for 15,000 rupees. Now, a lot of you Xiaomi haters are going to dislike this video right now and start typing your mean comments, but hear me out for a second. The Redmi Note 5 Pro excels at a lot of aspects, and that is what makes it a great smartphone. Let's start talking about the build quality of this phone. On the outside, you get an all metal build quality that looks and feels premium, the buttons feel solid, and overall it gives a very nice feel in the hand. It's also quite durable because I've dropped it a couple of times and I've only gotten 1 or 2 dents on the phone. Fortunately, I had a glass on the display, so it's not broken. Talking about that display, you've got a 6-inch Full HD Plus display that has some really nice colors and viewing angles. The saturation could have been better, but then for this price I think it's okay, and nevertheless it's a good display. On the inside as well, the Redmi Note 5 Pro is top notch. You've got a Snapdragon 636, 4 or 6 gigs of RAM, plenty of storage, a huge 4000 mAh of battery and a good set of cameras. As expected, the performance out of this phone is great. The phone just flies through your day-to-day performance, multitasking, switching between apps and so on. Especially with MIUI 10 on Android Oreo, the phone is really smooth and I love using it, and it's one of the best performing phones in this segment. So the performance is something that I'm not worried about and I liked it a lot on this phone. What I didn't like is how Xiaomi is handling the software on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. So the thing is, this phone was launched in February and then they launched an update in March which actually messed up a couple of things on this phone. So the phone was only taking portrait mode shots from the rear facing camera at 5 megapixels. The depth effect wasn't that great, the edge correction was not that good as well, and the phone was still running on Android 7.1 Nougat. A lot of competitors like the Zenfone Max Pro and then the Realme one started coming out with Android Oreo, but then the Redmi Note 5 Pro was still on Android Nougat and Xiaomi had no updates for the next 3 months. It was just recently in about I think end of May that Xiaomi released the new update that updated the Redmi Note 5 Pro to Android Oreo and it fixed all of the camera bugs. So yeah, everything's fine now, but then I'm not liking how slow the updates are on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. But I actually installed MIUI 10, which is their latest version. It's in beta right now, but then it works really well on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. It has some really cool features like the new multitasking tray, which has this cool brightness slider. Then you have a new volume slider as well, which is similar to the one on Android P. And finally, you also have this new multitasking tray, so you can scroll through all of your apps and you can swipe the ones which you don't want. So yeah, that's great. I love MIUI 10. It's a refreshing change, but I hope Xiaomi rolls out the final version really soon, because like I said, it's still in beta, so there are some crashes here and there, but overall it's been a very smooth experience so far. So whenever your Redmi Note 5 Pro is going to get the MIUI 10 update, you will love it on your phone. But then like I said, Xiaomi needs to improve a lot in terms of their software updates, and don't even expect the Android P update anytime soon. Xiaomi is more focused on releasing their MIUI updates than Android updates, so I don't expect Android P to hit this phone at least this year. But then the Redmi Note 5 Pro has a great developmental support, so I'm pretty sure you will have Android P ROMs as and when they are out. But then like I said, I do like what Xiaomi has done with MIUI 10, but then there is still a lot of scope for improvement here. On that note, let's move on and talk about the best feature of the Redmi Note 5 Pro, the camera. So yeah, on the back you have a 12 plus 5 megapixel camera, and on the front you have a 20 megapixel shooter, and it's one of the best in its segment. Be it daylight or low light, the Redmi Note 5 Pro performs really great. So like I said, with the recent update, Xiaomi has fixed all of the camera issues, so the camera performance is top notch. And although I did find the Realme one to be slightly better in some scenarios, the Redmi Note 5 Pro has better portrait mode, better edge detection, and it also has electronic image stabilization in video recording, which works really well. It's only limited to full HD in the official camera app, so that's quite sad, but then you can download third-party apps like Open Camera and record 4K videos on this phone. So like I said, the camera performance is awesome. You're gonna love it on this phone. And if you're feeling a little adventurous, you can also enable camera to API on your phone after unlocking it and install Google Camera, which will even enhance the image quality on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Xiaomi has done a great job here. But then one issue that I faced with the camera on this phone is that if you use third-party apps like Google Camera or Open Camera or something like that, the front-facing camera is only recognized as a 5 megapixel sensor. The stock app shoots at 20 megapixel, but then for some reason in third-party apps it's only recognized as 5 megapixels. So I don't know what's wrong with that, but then I thought I would mention it in this video. Apart from that, if you want to know more about the camera of the Redmi Note 5 Pro, I do have a couple of comparison videos as well as the Google Camera videos, so all of them are linked in the video's description. Go and check them out. Like the camera, the battery life is also top notch on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. You've got a 4000 mAh of battery that can easily last you a day or two. Even on heavy usage, you can't kill the battery on this phone in one single day. I couldn't do it, and I ended my days even on heavy usage with around 10 to 15% of battery, so that's great. What's also great is that it only takes around 2 hours to finish a full charge. So you can charge from 0 to 100% in 2 hours, which is great. So yeah, honestly, I love the battery life on the Redmi Note 5 Pro, and I wish more and more phones do have larger batteries. Talking about some other things, the call quality on the Redmi Note 5 Pro was great. I didn't have any issues with that, and even the audio via Bluetooth was fine. But then what I don't like is that this phone has a hybrid SIM card slot, because phones like the Zenfone Max Pro and the Realme one are now coming with a separate dedicated SD card slot. And these phones are also coming with dual VoLTE. So the Redmi Note 5 Pro doesn't have that either. The Chinese variant of this phone has it, but the Indian variant doesn't. Maybe there is a hardware for that inside this phone and Xiaomi hasn't enabled it yet, but I don't know, and as of now dual VoLTE is not working on this phone. So that's something that you should consider if you have 2 Jio SIM cards or you want 2 SIM cards with a separate memory card. The fingerprint sensor is also pretty fast on this phone. It takes barely a second or less than that to unlock the phone, which is very good. You also have face unlock, so you can use that, but it takes around a second or two to recognize your face and then unlock. So the Realme one is a lot faster when it comes to face unlocking, and on the Note 5 Pro I actually use the fingerprint sensor for the most part. So overall, the Redmi Note 5 Pro, in spite of its flaws, is a great smartphone. It's an all-rounder and it performs really well at almost every aspect that you would look in a smartphone. But then the competition is getting really close, as you have the Zenfone Max Pro and the Realme one. So if Xiaomi wants to stay on the top, they have to improve in things like the flash sales, the software, as well as the after-sales service. These are the issues that Xiaomi should focus on if they want to be the segment leader. The Zenfone Max Pro actually came really close to the Note 5 Pro, but then it has its own issues like the multi-touch issue, the Bluetooth audio issue, the camera software issue, and so on. But if Asus works on that, I think it's going to be difficult to recommend the Redmi Note 5 Pro. But as of now, this phone, according to me, is the best option for 15,000 rupees. So if you have that budget, close your eyes and go buy the Redmi Note 5 Pro. You will be very happy with it because it's one of the best phones that your money can buy you for that price. That's all for my review of the Redmi Note 5 Pro. If you guys enjoyed it, then please hit the like button. If you have any suggestions, then please let me know in the comments as well. Also, if you're new here, then please hit the red subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And please go like my Twitter and Instagram pages because I would like to communicate with you guys on my social media platforms as well. Anyways, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back in your notifications really soon. Bye.